They're pretty lazy sharks. Most of the time, you see them sleeping or resting on the ocean floor. Not all sharks have to swim in order to breathe. Actually, all bottom dwellers can just lay down stationary, pump water over the gills. That's how they get their oxygen. Now, they're also pretty docile sharks. But you still gotta watch out for them though, because they do have a very powerful bite. They got like over 2,000 pounds of pressure on the jaws. Yeah. But there is some good news if you get bit by a nurse shark. The good news is they do have very small teeth. So that's the good news. The bad news is they got over 300 of them. You know, you still gotta watch out for them. Right, one last thing before I jump in here. A lot of people ask me if you can train a shark or if they recognize me. Well, you can't train a shark. There's no such thing as a trained shark. A shark only has like a 2-second attention span, you know, pretty tough to train an animal like that. And do they recognize me? No, they do not. That makes absolutely no difference. If I jump in this tank or any one of you jump in there, because to them, we all taste like chicken. I'm the big chicken here, so I'm going to go in there, and I brought somebody else with me. He's going to explain a lot more about these sharks. He actually takes care of these sharks, make sure that the water temperature is correct, the salinity, the pH, and all that stuff. But most important, to me at least, is that he makes sure that these sharks are well fed. So give a big welcome to Captain Rick over here.
All right, Philip. Thanks a lot, and good luck to you, bud.
All right.
All right, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. Now, while Philip is getting... Oh, wait a minute, I forgot something. Philip!
I'm still here, what's up?
Hey, I forgot to tell you. I got up real late this morning and went to breakfast, and I didn't feed these sharks today, just so you know.
You didn't feed the sharks today?
Yeah, I did do it.
Ah, you know what, that's all right, man. You probably fed them a lot yesterday. I'll take my chances. Should be okay.
Well, that's not the case. I had a lot of errands to run yesterday, Philip. I didn't feed these sharks yesterday either.
Already 2 days you didn't feed the sharks?
Yeah, that's true.
But don't you think it's a little dangerous?
Not for me.
Not for you. I gotta go in there, man.
Oh, now look, folks. Now you're going to make a big deal over nothing here. I mean, these sharks, they go like 2-3 weeks without any food whatsoever. No problem. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal to you, but to me it is. Hey, tell me something. When is the last time you fed these sharks?
Well, let's see here. Actually, Philip, I think it was just before we left Tulsa, yeah? And that was about two and a half weeks ago. That's what it was, yeah? My golly.
All right, so I'm doomed.
You could be. These guys are looking pretty hard. I think she wants to see the evening menu.
Yeah, very funny, Captain. Now what?
And look, Philip, I don't think you're going to have any problems in there today or tonight. But I'll tell you what, if you get in trouble, don't worry about it. I'll come get you.
You do that for me?
You bet.
All right. Well, that makes me feel a little better.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Like I'm going to really do that.
I heard that.
Okay, now while Philip is getting ready to go in the tank, I'll explain a little bit more about the system here for you. Now, this is actually the most dangerous part of our show. And the reason for that is that this tank behind me is enclosed on all sides, with the exception of one small opening at the top that Philip will enter the tank through. Well, this is the same hole we feed these sharks through. And if you know anything about sharks, you know they're always looking for their food. Anything that comes through this opening, these sharks could see as something to eat and try and take a bite out of it. If Philip was to take his hand and stick it in the tank right now, they could very easily mistake that for a small piece of fish and go after that as well. But once Philip is inside this tank and these sharks see that he is not their natural prey, they'll most likely leave him alone. Now that's the way it's supposed to work. And it has been many, many years since we've had an incident in this tank. But this year, for some reason, has really been hard for Philip. He started out this season by not wearing his boots. You'll see him in there with his little boots on now. We were in New York State. He was exiting out of this tank, and one of these sharks actually bit him on the foot. Got him pretty good. He came down the ladder, had blood all over his toes. He wasn't too happy about it. I thought it was pretty funny myself. But the incident that really kind of scared him was when we did the New Jersey State Fair at the Meadowlands. And that big shark up there snuck up on Philip. And he didn't even see her coming. This shark came like right up to the side of his head, bumped him, and then snapped her jaw shut. Now when these sharks snap their jaw shut, it's like a concussion. They have a different kind of a jaw than a regular shark. So that was right next to his head. Scared the heck out of him. Fortunately, she didn't bite into anything. If she had, that show would have been over right then and there. I guarantee you that. Now I'm telling everybody this just to reinforce the point that these are wild animals and we never really know what they're going to do. So, let's see what's going to happen tonight. Philip, you ready? Okay, not a good place to be sticking your hand there, Philip. Yeah, that shark is looking. Not good. He'll never learn. But you can see these sharks are still pretty active here right now. And that's because they actually heard Philip on top of this tank. And when they hear somebody up there, they start thinking that food is coming through that opening. Well, it doesn't make any difference because they're going to all be disappointed here in a moment anyway. Or maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, once Philip is inside this tank, you'll see these sharks will most likely swim away from him. And that's the same thing that would happen to you if you encountered these animals in their natural habitat. So the best thing to do would be to just stay calm, and you should be okay. All right, I knew Philip was going to take that opening. It's not often that he has the center of that tank all pretty much to himself, except for maybe one shark. And the last thing Philip wants to do is be jumping on top of one of these guys. Now let's see what he's got in store for us. Now this particular shark that Philip's got his hands on, folks, we call her Loretta. Ooh, he's having a little hands full there. Careful, careful. We call her Loretta. Let me tell you, she's the large female shark in this tank. She's the big dog in here. You don't want to keep your hands or feet in front of that shark for any time. Because if she bit you accidentally, it wouldn't be very pleasant. Guarantee you that. How about everybody waving to Philip and Loretta? There you go. Oh, yeah. How sweet it is. Okay, now like Philip said, these are nurse sharks, folks. And they're definitely East Coast sharks. You can find these guys anywhere from like the shores of South Carolina all the way down to Brazil and throughout the Gulf of Mexico. They have a fairly large range, and they certainly like their warm water. Now, one thing Philip's going to try and do here for you is see if he can get one of these sharks upside down. Now, what that's going to do is put a shark into somewhat of a hypnotic trance. Let's see. Always going to go with the little guys first. Okay, let's see how this works out. Little ones are fairly new to the tank. They don't like being handled very much. Actually, that's not too bad for one of those small ones. I'll give him credit for that. But he's going to go down there and kick Loretta out of her corner. She likes to sit in front of those jacuzzi jets. He's going to show you how this works with the big girl. All right, so here he's got Loretta upside down, elevated up, and you can just see that shark is just totally zoned out there. No problem whatsoever. All right, very good. Now let me tell you a little bit about Philip. You know, when Philip was a kid, he actually